Okay, well, that was a fun match this past weekend. That saw Orange County victorious against Las Vegas Lights. It's sort of that excited, disappointed, excited, disappointed. Hopefully that trend doesn't continue. We get to continue to be excited this next match. We'll get into that. We got a lot more going for you. Let's get this thing started. Welcome to the Show of Champions. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the first and only show dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Samora. I'm here to take you through this journey as we discuss all things Orange County Soccer Club. Helping me out this episode, a familiar crew. First and foremost, Dylan. We missed you last week, Dylan. But for those that made a trip out to Championship Soccer Stadium this past weekend, they got to see you in person. How you doing, Dylan? How was your trip back home?
It was fine. It was a bit of a come down. I'm not gonna lie. Everything past Saturday night was a bit of come down, and such is life when you win 4-0. But glad I got to get down to the champ. Glad I got to see those of you that I got to see. Glad we got to see a victory, and such a victory at that. So glad to be here tonight for all of those, or for all of you who missed me. I'm back. And for all of those that enjoyed last week, so sorry.
Well, we get to have you back, and maybe it's going to be a case made here that you need to make it out to more matches if the results that we saw this past weekend is what happens when Dylan's at the stadium. Helping us out also this episode, we've got Brad, who did not make the trip down to Championship Soccer Stadium this past weekend. Almost had a full podcast crew there, minus Brad. But Brad, how are you doing?
I'm doing quite fine. I may not have been at the champ, but I wasn't in Vegas last weekend. I was at a buddy's bachelor weekend in Phoenix, and I wore my Orange County jersey to the casino at Wild Horse Palace, where their older stadium used to be. And people in Phoenix are the most lame people ever. Nobody knows any culture because nobody recognized me as their soccer daddy because of, well, we like beating Phoenix.
Interesting, Brad. Is that your new nickname? Is now Phoenix's soccer daddy? One other person that's helping us out on this episode, the bearded one, who was there pitch side with us. That's Larry. Larry, would you consider calling Brad Phoenix's soccer daddy?
You know, as soon as Brad said that, I just got flashes, and Brad is starting to grow the beard out, and I'm just thinking comments like Phoenix's soccer daddy and growing the beard. Brad is turning into mini me, and Brad, do better. Do better.
Well, regardless, if you liked it or not, Brad's comment about being Phoenix's soccer daddy, we do appreciate if you like our show on any of the social medias or on YouTube, Spotify, the podcast. Like, share, subscribe, give us reviews. 5 stars always appreciated, but please be honest on your reviews. You don't have to give us that if you don't agree with it being a 5-star review. But yes, Dylan.
It was 5 stars until Brad called himself a soccer daddy, and now I'm team 2, maybe 2.5. Depends on how much dumb stuff comes out of your mouth in the next 55 or so minutes.
Well, you know how I help get that number down, right? Is if I double up on Brad's Phoenix soccer daddy and talk about butterflies in Phoenix, and then people in Phoenix are just going to jump on here and start bashing us. But we're not here to talk about Phoenix or their soccer fans. We're here to talk about Orange County Soccer Club, and specifically we're going to start off with the results this past weekend where Orange County dominated and 100% dominated Las Vegas Lights at home at the champ, winning 4-0 in what I know we've said this a couple times in past when we have results, but I have to say this is probably the best performance for Orange County start to finish. Dylan, again, you were there. You got to see it live, which is not that often anymore. What are your thoughts overall on this match before we do a deep dive?
I'm really happy with this. We played well, and we forced a lot of mistakes. which is why we ended up with this result. Yes. Also, I do clearly need to come to more matches because the last 3 matches that I've been to at the champ, Orange County has won all of them. So I'm starting to think it is, in fact, maybe it's me. Certainly it couldn't be the players, couldn't be the coaching staff preparing them, couldn't have been any of that. Couldn't have been Mo War, couldn't have been Chris Hegardt. No, not at all.
It's Dylan.
I'm glad we had, it's me. I'm glad we got this result. I'm glad we got the 4-0 victory. It kind of takes us back to just even on goal difference, which, yes, doesn't particularly matter when we're 15 matches into the season, but we've got a few matches in hand on everybody else. And, typically teams aren't making it into the playoffs if they have negative goal difference. So we're trending the right way. I just hope we get to keep it going.
Brad, I want to get your overall thoughts on this match, and also just give us an indication, because again, you probably know Vegas more than any of us. Is this more Orange County's stellar performance, or was this Vegas wasn't ready to play?
Oh my God, you literally just stole exactly where I was going to go with this. You couldn't have set me up any better. Look, I think Orange County played absolutely phenomenal. I keep saying good teams make their own luck. And Arosa Reina giving us an absolute freebie that led to a penalty kick and then gave a rebound off a save. That's luck that you get because you're being aggressive. Thank you very much, producer Andy. With that said, I also do believe on the flip side of the coin that Vegas played probably their worst game I've ever seen. Earlier in the season when we did lose 1-0 going into that game, I said if we're going to have a goal scored against us, it would be on the counterattack. And I reiterated that point last week. And, good on Orange County for not giving them any opportunities to counterattack. But Vegas just did not look like they were in form like they were earlier this year. In fact, they look like they belong in the bottom of the table, which I believe they are in currently.
Dylan doesn't agree with that, or
they still have somehow one more win than Colorado Springs. However, the Switchbacks do have a match in hand, so they are level on points. But yeah, things aren't looking good for them. They have a negative 15 goal difference. So if you think the whole goal difference thing doesn't matter, that's what bad teams look like, not us.
So Dylan and I were in the stands. Brad was watching the stream. Larry was closest to the action on the sidelines. What's your overall thoughts on this match, Larry? What did you see from this?
You know what? There is so much good that we can talk about in regards to this game. Passing percentage, we completed like 91% of our passes and made something like 570 passes. That is an insane amount of passes and an insane amount of pass completion. Now, without question, this is the best game Orange County Soccer Club has played all year. Everything fell into place. It doesn't matter if they went down a man. We were still going to win this game 3 or 4-0. And you could see that right off the jump. From the minute this game kicked off until the final whistle was blown, Orange County was absolutely dominant. So happy for that. I would love for our team to show some consistency like this so that we are not feeling like we are in a bipolar situation, because we have super highs like this Saturday, super lows like every cup game we've played this year. So let's keep this rolling into Oaktown this weekend. And even though it's a meaningless game, let's make sure that the boys come out looking good and playing like they did this past weekend.
So just a quick take from me. Actually, a couple things I want to mention. Last week on the show, I mentioned this is an opportunity for one or two of the attacking players to try and take ownership, because we've had a lot of struggles on the attack this season. And I want to just call out, it looks like Mo War answered that call and really is showing that he deserves some playing time, because he looked stellar out there. He looked aggressive. I loved what I saw from Mo War. I had a friend that was at the match, first ever Orange County Soccer Club match. And he even made the comment that the players that were playing down the sideline in that match just looked great and was excited for it. The other thing I want to call out, Kyle Scott, first match without him on the roster anymore. That's one of those things where you could look at it. It can go probably one of two ways. The team sort of throws their hands up like, oh, we lost one of our key pieces, we're going to struggle now, or you go out there and you prove that you can play without one of your top players this season in Kyle Scott. For those that weren't aware, Kyle Scott, moving on, is now going to be playing in England, in League Two in England going forward here. But yeah, congratulations to Kyle Scott on that. Well deserved. We love what he's done here at the club. You always knew that he had the talent to go back to England. That's where he was born. And you knew that was always probably going to happen. You just didn't know when. So congratulations to him. But you saw the midfield step up for Orange County this match. Look solid. And again, the attack stepped up. I mean, like I mentioned, and like I think all of you mentioned, this was a stellar performance, probably the best performance of the year for Orange County. Dylan, anything that I said that you don't agree with, or anything else you want to add to this?
I think this was just a good performance. I mean, we took our foot off the gas for a large section of the second half, because ultimately when you are up 3-0, you don't need to do a lot. And then Chris Hegardt just said, hold on, guys. Let me just pick out this bottom corner really quick. Don't mind if I do. We look like a team that knows what they're doing. And we've seen glimpses of this over and over and over again. But this is a team performance that I thought, this is a team that's going to go far this year. And it's a good thing that we figured this out. We do have to do it more regularly. But it's okay. There's still time, and we're trending the right direction at about the right time. Beyond that, Mo War. I mean, I would love to see him playing out on the wing, and if we're not going to see Liam McKinnon for most of the rest of the year, if not the rest of the year, it's not much of a decrease. I know he's quote-unquote unproven at this level, but there's a very good player in there, and he showed that he absolutely deserves to be starting. You know, if he's going to have performances like that, no one's going to be able to handle him going forward.
Well, and you talk about Mo War. I mean, this is a player that 100% has the drive, has the desire, right? This is a player that came out 2 seasons ago to try out for the team, was probably one of the last players that that was cut before the season starts. So he moves over to LA Force for a season, I believe NISA level. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Correct.
And then comes back this year to try out for the team. Again, you rarely have seen that in the history of Orange County, where you have a player that comes out 2 years in a row to try out for a team to try and get a spot. And Mo War did that. And Mo War has that desire and that passion. You can see that in him when he's getting those moments on the pitch. Brad, any other players that, other than what we've talked about, stand out for you in this match, and why?
Oh boy, I mean, we got to just go with Hegardt. Like, again, he's the MVP. I've already gushed on him this episode, but he played probably his best game of the season. He's exactly the player that we were hoping he'd come in, fill in a bunch of roles in the team. When he was on loan last year from Loudon, now that he's permanently signed with the team, like, he's producing, and well earned. He's gonna step in quite nicely with Kyle Scott gone, even though he was already getting playing time. That's his role.
Definitely. And this was without Stephen Kelly out there, because he was on a red card, so he didn't get to play this match. It'll be nice to see how he slots in with this team if we can continue this momentum. One thing that we haven't mentioned yet, we've gone almost 15 minutes, or about 15 minutes of the show. And we haven't even mentioned that this was Orange County's 4th shutout in 5 matches. Larry, this is something that we've been bashing on the team all season long, that we just, our defense and our nothing against Shuttler, but Shuttler hasn't been, we haven't been able to get clean sheets for most of the season. Now we're on a nice run of 4 in 5 clean sheets. Thoughts on that? And is this something that you now have even more faith in, and we continue seeing going forward?
Absolutely, without question. I would like to just mention and give a little shout out to Kevin Partita, because I thought Kevin was especially good on Saturday night. Did you guys hear? You probably couldn't hear what I could hear, but I think he has a nickname. And next time we get him on the show, I'm going to confirm it. But I think everybody's calling him Poppy these days, because he's got the couple of boys, and he is really turning into a leader out there on the pitch. And you could see it Saturday night with his play and with his leadership out there. Now, having said that, let's go talk about the defense. Tom and Vuk are just firing on every cylinder defensively that they could possibly be firing on. They are reading each other. It's reminding me so much of the Orozco Kiernan days. And those two guys were so good on that back line together. And Tom and Vuk are really stepping into their roles. And maybe it's just taking them a little bit to partner up together to be able to shut down those passing lanes and shut down those shooting lanes. And, these last 4 or 5 games, they have done it absolutely beautifully. Love to see it. Love to see. I mean, hell, when the other team only gets 4 shots the entire game and only 1 shot on goal, great job, Colin, stopping that 1 goal. But hey, you know what? If the other team can't get any shots on goal, Colin doesn't have to do any work. And at the end of the day, he still gets the clean sheet. And we'll take those all day, every weekend.
Yeah, I'm a strong believer that, the stat of clean sheet for a goalkeeper, that really is an all defensive stat. That's not really just on the goalkeeper, unless, there are those matches where the goalkeeper literally kept you on that clean sheet with, 3 or 4 amazing saves. But most of the time it means your defense is playing stellar. They're playing together and they've built chemistry. And I'm a strong proponent of your defense, especially your center backs, needing really good chemistry to succeed. And unfortunately, earlier on the season, there was no really clear cut plan on what the center defense was going to be for Orange County. And when I talk about center defense too, it's not just the center backs. It's also your defensive midfielder that's playing back there that needs to be able to really work in sync with those 2 center backs. And we're seeing that now at this point. We're seeing this team and that central defense mesh and look really good. And like you all talked about, this is looking close to like what we saw a few years back when you had players like Michael Orozco and Rob Kiernan playing together, and how just well they meshed together in that type of role. I think we're seeing the start of something very beautiful with them on that. And hopefully, this goes back, really, this result looks quite similar as far as just the domination and the excitement for the fans that we saw that very first match of the season against Oakland. I think that had all of us saying, hey, as long as this team can outscore their opponents and we can play really strong. Yes, that wasn't a clean sheet, but we got goals and the offense figured it out. 4 goals in this match. Yes, against, like Brad said, probably one of the worst performances for Las Vegas, if not the worst performance for that team this year. Hey, we don't care. That's our opponent. We got scheduled against them. We play our match. Let's take control of what we're doing. And we saw that from Orange County here against Vegas.
And that's what good teams do. Good teams take advantage of teams that aren't playing their best. And then they go and they get those wins. They get that 3 points. They put it in their back pocket. They move on to the next week. And that's what we did this week.
So speaking of moving on to next week, there is a match for Orange County coming up. Although I believe one of you, I can't remember exactly who said it, it's sort of a nothing match, right? This is a match that doesn't mean much for anyone. Brad wants to talk about
nothing.
Brad wants to talk about okay. I get why Brad's shaking a bottle of Malort. I don't think it's like champagne where once you pop the bottle, it's gonna like make a nice noise and spray all over Brad. But it's because it's his anti-Jägermeister cup. The Malort cup is what Brad likes to call this competition. It's a meaningless game as far as the results go, right? I don't think either team really has a chance. Maybe Oakland has a very slim chance of something, but probably not.
Even if we win, we move up to second place. We move up into a tie for second place, but all tiebreakers send whoever else we're tied with. It's over. We're done with the anti Jägermeister Cup tournament this year.
Here's the big conundrum of this, right? We're coming off this high of a 4-0 victory over Vegas. Probably, like we've all said, the best result and the best what we've seen from Orange County all season. Now you're going into what basically is a meaningless match for Orange County. And basically, I think too, if you really look at it, Oakland, this is a meaningless match for them for the most part, unless there's a slim chance of something for them. I haven't looked at the standings on that. Are we scared of a drop-off, Dylan? Are we scared that this is a match that Orange County is going to look at and say, we just need to not get injured. This is a time to give some players playing time. Who cares about the results? Is that what you want to see? Or would you rather see them build off this momentum and let's just go out there and let's just whoop Oakland? Who cares about that? This is meaningless. let's keep our momentum going. What do you think, Dylan?
There's a chance that you give a handful of players the opportunity to prove themselves. If Mo War in this situation hadn't just played an amazing match on Saturday night, this is a chance where you go to Mo War and you say, okay, here you go. I know it doesn't matter, but give me Danny Silva goes, give me a headache about who to pick the following week. And this is a good team, and there is a decent amount of depth here where there are players who probably could play every week. I imagine a Koa Santos, for example, probably not super jazzed that a teenager has taken his spot. And yet, that's the situation he finds himself in. And he played 27 minutes last weekend. This is a chance for him to maybe play a little bit more. Ultimately, everybody that's involved in the playing staff and the technical staff, they know that the expectation is that Orange County wins this match. There's no reason that Orange County shouldn't win this match, and that it doesn't matter. They're professionals. They have a job. Their job is to win. Oakland has 2 games in hand on us in the real world of not the non-Malort Cup. They are level with us on points, and they have conceded 6 more goals. So I think even if we don't play all of our starters, we can probably win this match, and guys will be out there, and guys will be really hungry to prove why they should be starting after that.
Brad, let me get your thought on this. What's your preference? Would you rather see Orange County just go full throttle against Oakland, or do you look at this as we just need to not get hurt this match, give some players some opportunities? Who cares about, I guess, momentum or anything like that? What's your thoughts on this, Brad?
I'm gonna go with option C. Play the kids, and not because I want to avoid injuries, although that is a good reason to, but mostly because look at what happened last time we played the kids against Sacramento. That game we had absolutely no right to win, and not only did we win it, but the team looked pretty good. Obviously, not as dominant as the previous game that we just played, but still an absolute masterclass from the kids on how to play counter defensively against Sacramento, who played a good starting team. So yeah, play the kids, let them prove something, and maybe if you steal the win on the road, you steal the win on the road.
Okay, Larry, question for you.
Yeah.
What's your number? So if 11 is basically we're rotating the full side, all 11 players are players that didn't play this last match. 0 being that we're keeping the same lineup of this past match. What is your sort of ideal number for this? And what are some of those players that you say give them a rest this match against Oakland?
I would say take the entirety of OCSC 2, put them on a bus to Oakland, let them play this game. And I will tell you why. Because 4 days later, we got to play Phoenix. We've got a game Wednesday against Phoenix at our house. And I want Tom, I want Vuk, I want Nico, I want Kevin, I want Zoobs, Cam, Mo, Chris. I want all of these guys well rested up and ready to go on Wednesday the 30th for Phoenix. I don't care about this game on Saturday. I'm going to watch the game, of course, because I watch Orange County Soccer Club games. But this game is meaningless. Throw out the same starting 11 that we put out there for the Sacramento game. And the senior players who do happen to be out there, play them in the first half, sit them down, rest the legs, get a breather, let the youngsters take over. Hey, let them put on a show up in Oakland.
So I guess I'm like the lone person by myself here that is really, really looking for wanting to build some momentum off of this match against Vegas. Yes, against Sacramento, the kids mixed in with some of the veterans, we had a successful time. That was at home. This is on the road in Oakland, a weird kickoff time of 1:00. I would love to see a few rotations. I would probably say my number is like an 8. I want to see 8 of the key starters from last week back in the match against Oakland, rotating a few of the youngsters. And then maybe, like Larry said, at halftime, you could do some rotations and you can use your full 5 substitutes and, get some rest for some of the players that have been playing more minutes, and get some playing time for the youngsters. But I'm really big on momentum is key. And we're hitting that part of the season where you want to start really focusing on how do we get on a roll? How do we build momentum? And I think even though, again, in really a literally meaningless match for Orange County, other than pride against Oakland, I still want to see a strong, dominant performance from Orange County. I want to build off of the victory against Las Vegas. I want to basically go into Oakland and not even give them a chance to slap us around. I want to go in there and slap them around, get a dominant victory with most of the key players so that those players can continue to build off the momentum heading into that Phoenix match. Yes, it is a quick turnaround to that Phoenix match. I get it. That's why, again, start a lot of the key players, get them out there at halftime or early in the second half, full rotation of 5 subs, but I really want to see the momentum build. I'm not Coach Danny Stone. I don't make those decisions. None of us know what the plan is. We'll have to wait and see for Saturday. Larry, go for it.
Well, I was just going to say, why don't we ask our guest what his thoughts are on this particular subject?
Our guest that will be coming on here shortly is not a coach. I don't want to put him in a coach role. But before we get to that guest, we got to do our predictions for this match. I'll go to you first, Dylan. Your predictions for the meaningless match for Orange County. I mean, standings wise or results wise. Again, I'm not saying it's meaningless. I'm sure the players all want to win still. But what's your prediction for this match?
I'm going to say 3-1 Orange County.
Brad, what's yours?
I'm going to just say, 0-0, everyone has a good time, and penalty kicks.
Penalties would be fun, actually. That'd be nice practice for when it becomes necessary. Dylan's like, why? I mean, it's a meaningless match. The result does not matter for Orange County. Get some practice of penalties. So if we get to the playoffs and we need to be able to make our penalties, which it looks like we've struggled a little bit this season, why not take that opportunity? And I know you want to talk, Dylan. Go.
Yeah, because and we can ask our guests in a moment, but I somehow think that a professional player could probably figure out how to take a penalty, and maybe like a 3-month gap between penalty opportunities is not actually going to prove all that helpful. It's
Larry,
fine. I'm being the heel. I don't want to see that.
Well, you know what? I picked up the sword last week, and now I kind of got to keep it for the time being. So 5-0 Oakland. 5-0 Oakland.
I love this one.
But
Dylan's
no,
love it.
but just like last time, I'm going to say no. I'm not actually going to. I'm going to say it out loud, but I'm not actually going to believe it. 2-1 OC.
Mine is all. I'm hoping Coach Danny Stone plays strong and then gives the players a rest. Once we do build that easy lead with a strong lineup, I'm going to go 3-0 Orange County. We're going to get another shutout. That's going to be 5 and 6 matches plus a good result in the non-Malort Cup, officially the Jägermeister Cup for USL Cup. One of those players that's going to, hopefully, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe they will have a key part of it. Maybe they're going to get a little bit of a rest in this match is a midfielder for Orange County who just came off a great performance team-wise and individually, and that's Mr. Chris Hegardt. Chris, welcome back to the show.
Hi, guys. How are you? Thanks for having me again.
We are
a joy.
Yeah, we are glad to have you back, Chris. Especially, it's always a lot more fun to talk with players after such an amazing result. Just let us know, what was the atmosphere in the locker room and with the players after the 4-0 victory over Vegas this past weekend?
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. I think that was a really good performance from the guys. So I don't know if it was a relief, but I think that first half was probably one of the best halves of the season so far. So I think just building on that and keep going off that. Like when we play our best, we're one of the best teams in the league. So just keep going on that.
So as a professional player, we sort of had a debate here before you came on about what we want to see from Orange County in what we've dubbed a very meaningless match for Orange County results wise, or, as far as, it doesn't matter what happens in the match for you all as far as the results in the Jägermeister Cup. What would you prefer as a professional player in this upcoming match? Knowing that it's not an important match, would you rather get the rest? Or do you have that desire to go out there and let's go out there and just whoop on Oakland, so that way if we face them later on, they know what we're capable of?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, for me, it's an easy one. I always want to play, no matter the occasion. So for me, Saturday's just another chance for me and the team to show ourselves. So yeah, that's an easy one. I want to play, but it's up to the coach and what they want to do on the weekend. But like I said, like everyone's been training good and playing good. So whoever ends up playing on the weekend will do a good job.
And just for those that maybe aren't familiar with being a professional athlete, which all of us are not familiar with that, how important is consistency and like, being the fact that you normally would play every Saturday, your body's used to that, even though there is a midweek match coming up after this match. How important is it for just a physical body for a professional athlete to play consistently like that, or does taking that extra little bit of time off not really impact a player mentally, physically, and all that?
Yeah, I think, like you said, like I think momentum's pretty important. Once you get a few wins or you win a game, you start to really believe. So I think momentum is a very important thing. Even though we have a quick turnaround, I think if we can keep winning, it becomes a habit, and then from there on, you just start to get good results. So I believe momentum is very important.
Hey, Chris, after the game, you went over and took a photograph with some people. Was that all family? Because there must have been like 60 people right there. I mean, was that all family, friends? I know it just couldn't have been all randoms there in the stands. Tell us
Yeah.
about that group.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a good question. That was my family. And some friends. So some of my buddies I grew up going to, from my third grade class on. Still like best friends with. We went to St. Michael's School in Poway, a Catholic school in Poway. So we're still best friends. So like six or seven of them came up to the game, and then my family, my cousins were in town, so they were actually at Disneyland for the weekend. So they came to the game, and then yeah, just my brothers and sisters and cousins came up. So honestly, it was a great game, and I was glad I was able to have a pretty good game when everyone was there. So
No,
it
no,
all
no,
worked
no,
out.
Chris,
But
Chris,
yeah,
Chris. Pretty good game is a freaking understatement. Okay, let's just you had a phenomenal game. You know it. I know it. Ray, Dylan, and Brad know it. You can say it, man. You can have a little ego on this one because you really played well. I would like to ask you about your goal. It's 89th, 91st minute, something like that. We do a little quick restart. First of all, that particular position there from where you shot that goal, that was a little bit taken right out of Milan Olaski's book. So really loved seeing that. But when you get in a situation like that, did you just see the opening? Did time slow down? Talk us through it.
yeah, I think. I mean, in that moment, it was a free kick, so I just told one of the younger players, Gavin, I was like, "Hey, just touch it to me," and it's already 3-0. There's 2 minutes left, so there's not a ton of pressure. So I was like, I'm just gonna go for a shot here and see what happens. So just line the defender up and then hit it, and I knew right when it released from my foot that it was gonna go in. I hit it pretty clean, so pretty happy to score.
That was a rocket.
Yeah,
It was nice. We liked it.
yeah,
Um, Tell us a little bit about the penalty shot. This looked like there was a lot of player discussion there on who was going to take it. Um, Ultimately, was it Ethan saying, "Hey guys, this is mine. This is me"? Um, Talk us through.
yeah. Usually before the game, the coach will assign like PK takers. So whenever Zubak's playing, he's probably gonna take the pen or someone else. So you kind of knew right away that he was gonna take it. So kind of just giving him that confidence to go score, which he did. So yeah, but usually the coach will usually say who's gonna take it before the game, so there's no like confusion or like guys yelling at each other. But yeah, Zubak's a pretty good penalty taker.
Nice. Hey, listen. Keep doing what you're doing, man, because you have stepped up exponentially. I think I told you last year after Brian went down and you came and joined the team and you played your first game with us. I went to James and I said, Daddy, can we please keep him? And here you are, almost an entire year later, and you're still here with us.
Yeah,
And man, it's been fantastic, and we love having you here and. Hopefully you'll have another season or two with us. If
yeah.
unless something bigger and better comes along, then we won't be mad at you.
Yeah, no, it's been good. I've been happy to be here, and I think I don't think I've even hit my best form yet. So hopefully I can keep going up and keep getting comfortable in the team and keep showing more. So yeah.
We're glad that you're happy here, and presuming that this is the best atmosphere in the USL. We've got a fan question. What's your favorite stadium and atmosphere to play in other than the Champ?
Other than the Champ, I think the Champ, has a great vibe. It's very like, especially when they do the beer fest or the wine nights, are is probably the best games to play in. The crowd gets pretty good. But I would say in the USL, it's a good question. I think New Mexico puts on a very good atmosphere when you go there. It's a hard place to play just due to the fact that there's elevation and it's like a baseball field, and they do get like 11,000 fans, so it's pretty good. And then I would say the other one is Colorado Switchbacks. Their stadium. I don't know if any of you guys have been there, but it's a pretty nice stadium, and the elevation is very high. You're like playing in the mountains, so it's a tough place to go. But I also enjoy it because the crowd gets pretty rowdy and saying some nasty things to me, so it fires me up.
I can imagine you looked a little fired up. Can you just kind of run us through some of? I mean, we talked ad nauseum earlier about, hey, this was a shutout, but can you talk us through your counter-pressing and what kind of your responsibility was on Saturday night on the defensive side of things?
Yeah, I think on Saturday night we came out pretty strong and intense. I think from the front four, me, Zubak, War, and Scylla, it was just about bringing energy, and we know they were trying to play out the back a lot, so and we knew we could take advantages when their defenders have it. So coach just told us to press hard and try to take a lot of risks and pick up balls, which we did, and then they ended up getting the right card as well. So I think that helped, but it was already like 2-0 at that point. So yeah.
At one point, you got knocked off the ball, and looks like you kind of wanted to foul for a second. Looked like you weren't going to get it. Immediately got to your feet and just started going after your man again. How do you toe that line of aggression where you can go and make a tackle and harry your man, but without maybe grabbing a needless booking? How do you manage that in the game?
Yeah. I think for me, like when I get a little pissed off, I play my best. But it's a little fine line between like getting too emotional and getting out of control, or like controlling the emotions and helping get the best out of me. So I just try to balance that. But sometimes I do get a little too emotional trying to work on that. But helps me, win that ball back and then play cam in 1-on-1. So yeah.
How I love that you even recognize that moment. Maybe you were watching tape today. I'm not particularly sure, but I mean, how pissed off are you when you're not starting? I guess like are you okay? I mean, you happy for the guy that's starting, or you don't talk to me and a little antisocial?
Yeah, it's a little of both. Like you never want to be on the bench, like if you talk to a professional and they say they're okay not starting, then maybe it's something wrong with them, but everyone wants to play. But I think it's a balance of like being a little bit upset, but supporting the guy that's going to play and the guys that are playing. And then when you come on, it's just an opportunity to show yourself. So I think for me, like when I don't start, it kind of puts like a little chip on your shoulder to just go show everyone what you can do when you get your opportunity. But when you're not on the field, just be as supportive to your teammates as possible, because when you're playing and they're not, then you want them to be supportive as well. So I think the culture we have here is pretty good, and it's pretty in training. It's very intense and competitive. So everyone's fighting for a spot, and then ultimately that makes the team better because you got to perform or you're out. So yeah, it's a good competitive spirit in the team.
I think I saw that last time we were in Oakland. You looked a little amped to come into the match.
Yeah.
Um, you mentioned kind of showing yourself off. Can you run us through that back heel? I mean, did you know that Ryan was there? Did he call you off of it or ask for it? That was maybe the most clever assist I think I've seen in an Orange County match.
Yeah, I saw. So Scylla got it top of the box, and then I kind of saw Dogman out the corner of my eye, and I was thinking about hitting the shot, but then I realized like the right wing back was on my back, so I was like in my head, I'm like, there must be a lot of space out there, and I heard Ryan call, so I kind of just like knew if I flicked it over there, he was gonna have a free shot on goal, and then at that point, I kind of just like let the muscle memory take over and flick it that way, and it worked out well, and he scored. A little lucky with the deflection, but hey, Ryan won't care.
Oh, Larry has decided to pull a Brad, so he had something.
I got to sorry. Chris, in regards to what Dylan was talking about, and you know, going and seeing that your name isn't in the starting lineup, and then maybe you only get 10 minutes at the end of the game. How much fun is it not when you have to go and do those laps afterwards too? How annoying is that to you?
Yeah, yeah, it's a tough one when you don't play and then you have to do runs after the game. But yeah, I mean, that's just more about like keeping your body in shape and ready for when you are playing a lot of minutes. Just because they don't want like the load to like decrease and your muscles to get weaker. So I think yeah, there's something with it all.
I'm sure it makes sense. It just doesn't look like it's fun, and nobody who's running them is like, oh hey, I get to go run some more.
Yeah, it's not fun. Yeah.
Awesome, Chris. Well, I heard that the new PA announcer, a buddy of mine, called you Christopher on the loudspeaker. Is that a name that you do recognize and go by, or should I reprimand him on the back end?
Christopher, yeah. Only only my parents call me that when they get mad at me, but yeah, you guys should start calling me it too. I don't mind. Either Chris or Christopher is good.
No, in all honesty, fantastic game from you and the team last week. Was there a little bit of like a change in play style to be a little bit more aggressive against a team like Vegas? Is that the style that we are looking out of the team to see a little bit more of, or what say you on that?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit different in this game just because I was playing out as a left winger this game, and then my characteristics when I'm playing, I'm not really a winger that wants to like stay touchline wide, so I think I was like drifting inside a lot, which was causing Vegas a bit of problems. Um, so yeah, I think just the way we set up tactically caused Vegas a bit of different problems than we have in the past. But I think just everyone played really well and just a lot of energy. And when you play at home in this league, it's definitely you get a lot of momentum and support behind you. So I think just starting the game well helped us win it.
Are you more comfortable at left winger, or would you say completely off role for you?
Can you repeat that? Sorry, you cut out.
Yeah, are you more comfortable at left wing, or was it just kind of like a one-time role that you're
Yeah.
filling in there for?
Um. Yeah. I can play anywhere. I think I'm comfortable there. Comfortable in the midfield. Just wherever they want to put me. I think good to go. Not too picky.
I love it. I need to get I need to get my son talking to you, Chris, because my son plays a number 10. But I try to teach him you need to be able to play anywhere in case the coach calls on you, which I know the coaches called him to play right back at times now and on the wings. So maybe I need to have him talk to you and you can give him a little pep talk about how important that is to be able to play anywhere on the pitch.
Yeah, it is important. I think flexibility is a very good thing for you. And if you're flexible and can play or versatile and can play anywhere, then if you're a good player, it's hard to keep you off the pitch.
And I love it. You probably saw some of my co-hosts shaking their head when I talked about my son because they hate when I bring up my son as a soccer player. Let me ask you this. On the chats, we had someone talk about this, and I'm just going to ask you at Simple Speak. I think because you mentioned New Mexico as a favorite place. So are you red or green when it comes to the sauce you put on stuff?
Red or green? I think I'll go with red. Yeah, red's a good little sauce.
Red's more your thing. Yeah, I'm more of a green person, but
Okay.
a good red sauce is not bad. I mean, I am not bashing a good red sauce, but I'm just more of a green person myself. Another question I want to ask you, and those that have followed the show and know, I've been a huge Kyle Scott fan over the last 3 seasons that he's been with the club. Obviously, he's now moved back over to Europe, to England in League Two, which is a nice move for him, well deserved for him. I have a two-parter for you. What is a move of a player sort of like Kyle Scott, especially mid-season like that, someone that's a key part of this club? How does that impact you and maybe the team overall as a player? Is it something that impacts you like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do now? Or do you see more of the, okay, who's going to step in, or let's play it that much harder? Like, how do you guys see that going for you all? We saw a great result this past match, first time without him officially on the team, but what does a move like that? How does it impact the team?
Yeah, I think, it's a tough one because Kyle's a great player and, we're going to miss him a lot. And he did a lot of great things for Orange County. But I think, he had a really good opportunity back home in England. So, it's hard when those opportunities come to pass him up. So, I'll miss playing with him a lot. And he's a really good player. I mean, obviously, as you guys know, he's been one of the best players here for a while and just brings so much consistency every week. And that's why the club in England came for him. But yeah, no, we'll miss him. But we definitely have some players that can fill in, and they're not Kyle Scott, but they can provide something else, and they're quality players. And we just got in Stephen Kelly from Scotland, and so he'll bring a lot of quality when he starts to play. And I think you guys seen him play one game or so far, but he's shown to be a really good player. So I'm excited to play with him as well. And yeah, it'll be good. But I'll miss Kyle for sure. He's a funny guy and a great player. I'll miss him.
And I know I said two-part, but I have a quick follow-up to that. What did you learn from Kyle Scott as a professional, as a soccer player? What's like the one big thing that you could say I took from Kyle Scott that I'm gonna continue to work on with that?
What did Kyle teach me?
And if he didn't teach you anything, by all means, call it out and say like, "Nope, I already knew all that stuff."
Kyle taught me a lot. Kyle, he taught me. Kyle's really good with the ball, so try to take some stuff from them. And then I think Kyle has like that calm technical side to him, but he also has that nasty side to him where like he'll get into tackles and show his English side. So I think I can help add that to my game of putting in some tackles and working hard and learning that from him. So yeah, I wish him all the best over there. Keep in touch.
One of my favorite things about Kyle was his aggressiveness out there. I know he got a lot of cards, but I'm a firm believer of, I don't mind you getting cards as long as it's for playing aggressive, not for playing dirty, right? And most of what I saw from Kyle was he was just playing hard, doing what he could. I mean, like you said, the English side of things, right? Like getting away with as much as you can until the ref's going to say no more. But clean, not dirty, clean.
Good. Yeah, for sure. No, he was good at that difference.
And then what is a move? Because for those that don't know, I mean, it seems like your name's been around the USL for years and years and years, but you're still just 23, right? So what does that type of move, and Orange County has proven that they can move players, not just one player, not just older players, not just, name players. They move players to Europe all around. What does it do? How does it motivate a player like you or other young players on this team to know that there's really these good opportunities that Orange County is providing?
Yeah, I think, it definitely motivates you as a player that Orange County has those connections abroad, and, everyone loves playing for Orange County and wants to be here and develop. But, as a kid in the US, if an opportunity in Europe comes, it's, something that you want to pursue. It's something that a lot of players want to do. So I think, that Orange County has that connection and pushes players abroad is really cool to see. And I think it brings a lot of motivation to players that if you do well here, that they can find you a spot in Europe and send you there and allow you to progress your career in a different way.
And there's really no team better than Orange County Soccer Club and all of the USL at doing this. So I want to go back to the game a little bit here, just real quick, Chris. There was some great play between you and Ryan on Saturday. I mean, the back heel to set up the goal, but just in general, you two looked like you were really clicking on Saturday night. Now, at the same time, over on the other side of the field, you had Mo and you had Scylla, who were also just absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to ask you, who was the better combination Saturday, you and Dogman or Usman and Mo?
Yeah, yeah, I think that Usman, Chilla, and Mo were a good duo, but I think me and Dogman, we're better. Not joking, we're both really good, both of us. Yeah, we played well together, but yeah, I enjoy playing with Ryan a lot. He's a great player, and he bombed the flanks, but yeah.
It's awesome to see it, and it's awesome that we can ask a question like that. It means the team had a really great performance all around, that we're like trying to decide which duo had a better performance this past weekend in the 4-0 victory over Vegas. Before we let you go, Chris, any last words you want to share with the fans heading into the next few matches? Anything you want to say to the fans?
No, I'm excited for I think Wednesday's a pretty big game with Phoenix. It's like 20. I think we're both like they're like 3 points above us, or maybe a little bit more. So it'll be a big game for us, and just excited to play at home. I feel like every time we play at home lately, it's been really good vibes and good crowd. So just can't wait to get back there on next Wednesday and get a win again. So just excited. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you didn't know, and if none of the players probably were around back then in 2018, in the Western Conference Finals, their fans stormed the pitch of Championship Soccer Stadium, and it left a really bad taste in the fans of all Orange County soccer fans. So just let them know that this is our house and not their house, right, Chris? Everyone, Midfielder, amazing player, and hopefully we keep the run going. Chris Hegardt, thank you for joining the show, and we look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys hopefully next Wednesday at the champ.
Awesome. We will see you out there. Thank you, Chris. Hey, as always, awesome time having players on the pitch. And Chris, I appreciate his willingness to answer all of our questions, whether there were some crazy ones or some great ones. And Brad, Dylan, and Larry, sorry, I brought up my son. It happened. Any other?
I didn't say anything this time, Ray. I let it go.
We're at the time of the show we like to start wrapping things down. But yeah, Dylan, you love when I say stuff like that. Brad, go for it.
Wrapping things up, wrapping things down.
I like to go
winding
I don't like
down.
That's why I mix things up. I like to make your brains
work. You don't mix them down.
He's got a point.
Asking the right questions. Yep.
Any other soccer stuff anyone wants to discuss really quick before we get to the final part of the show?
Is there a better club than Orange County Soccer Club? No.
When they play like they did Saturday night? No, there is not.
Is there a better time than just being in the County and Land Coalition? No.
When Dylan Allen is there? No.
True.
Which is a great thing, Dylan, right? Hey, for those of you that have been at a match and have seen those crazy people chanting and having smoke going off and all that fun stuff in the match, but you don't know if you're welcome to join, go out there and join them. It is a good crowd. They are very supportive. You might need to be prepared for a couple bad language words here and there, but it's what it is. But in the end, very good group of people that get along and are welcoming to anyone. So don't feel nervous if you've ever thought about going and saying hi or standing in that section. I was trying to tell my friend that was there this past week and they were sitting like in section 6. I'm like, next time, come on out and hang out with the sports section. The friend's from England, so he knows what that type of atmosphere is like. I'm sure he's totally would be okay with it. But again, for any fan that's at a match, have no problem. Come out, say hi. They will welcome you. Whether I'm there, Dylan's there, Larry's there, if Brad makes an appearance out there, and any of the others that are normally out there. Andy, producer Andy, he's out there almost every weekend. DK, Blaine, all the others that are part of that group. If I went and named everyone, then it would take forever. It would be an hour-long show just naming all the names of people out there.
And don't forget, in any bad words that might be said by the County Line Coalition, producer Andy can fix that in post.
It's true. And careful, because you might meet somebody and then 7 years later you're at his wedding. It's kind of weird.
It's crazy like that.
Some other guy starts talking to a soccer game and then you're stuck on some podcast forever. So if it's Ray, I would just say don't talk to him. Talk to anybody else.
Hey, if you're interested in you're interested in dabbling with podcasting or writing sports articles or taking sports photography, let us know. I mean, part of what we like to do is we like to be that sort of platform for people to get an idea of do they really want to do something like this. It's not for everyone, whether it's writing, photography, talking on a microphone, on video. But let us know. That's what we really want to see. Is we want to give that opportunity for people that are really serious about that. Before we get into our what did we learn, we did. I was at the match this past weekend. Yes, I made a rare appearance this season at a match. I'm hoping to get to some more throughout the season. But I got some video recording some stuff that we're going to release throughout the next month or two. And I wanted to share what our first post is going to be like. So look for this on social media. But here's what we got so far. Hey Cam, can I get your autograph? Memories, right? Memories. Thank you, man. How's it going? How's it going, Ashton? Can I get your autograph? How long ago was that? Like a year ago? You're like, how did I even find that picture? Thank you. Ryan, can I get your autograph? Huh? I don't know who that is. That's that
guy. You want him to sign it too?
Yeah, both of you all sign it. It's a secret. We can't tell you. We know people. There we go. So we got plenty of video, not just those three players. And I'm working on getting more video of other people that are part of the club, not just players, but maybe even some front office people that we will release on our social medias over the next month or two. So keep a lookout on social media to see when we release that. A good way to know when we release that is to follow us on social media, whether it is on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X, Blue Sky, whatever other thing we might be able to release stuff on. I don't know. But go for it. And then anything that we post, make sure you give us a like, thumbs up, a heart, whatever it's called on whatever platform it is. And don't forget to visit our website, OCSCpodcast.com, to read any of our great written content that we produce also. With that said, let's wrap things up with what did we learn? And I'm going to go to Larry first. What did you learn, Larry?
I learned that Andy can clean anything up in post. Thanks, Andy. You're the best. I'm not letting that one go for a while.
What did you learn this episode, Brad?
I learned that I say the silliest things, and I don't regret any of it.
Dylan, what did you learn?
I learned that Chris Hegardt is an international expert, as he knows, in fact, where Stephen Kelly came from. Couldn't be the main man on this show, could he?
Man, I was waiting for that. I knew you were going to come at me with that one. I wish I had something to bash you on this, but I learned that Brad wants to be known as Phoenix's soccer daddy from here on out. With that said, I want to thank everyone that participated in this episode, including my co-hosts, Brad, Dylan, Larry, he's over there. Yes. And also producer Andy, our special guest tonight, Chris Hegardt, for an amazing interview. Make sure you pay attention to what he's doing out there pitch, because he's doing great things. All of our listeners that participate in the chats and had fun with us, or anyone that is going to listen after the fact on podcast form, thank you for doing so. With that said, this is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, and we are out.